What's up, everyone? Josh White here. And as you can see, I'm pretty sunburned. I had one day at the beach, one sunny day in January at the beach here in Florida, and I'm already sunburned. So if you're watching the video portion, that's why I look like a cherry tomato. Anyways, wanted to talk about who I just got done having on the podcast. It's Master Sergeant Bryan Holm at Davis-Monthan, aka Boomsauce. This guy is absolutely incredible. I was just drawn to him on Facebook by the insane amount of positivity that he was putting out there and just how giving he was with helping the homeless, teaching his kids to pick up litter. He got me included on a few challenges as well. He's constantly working out with like body armor on, and he just is so much about giving to others that I really wanted to spend time with him so I could learn a few things from the guy, and he really did not let me down. So during our talk here on the podcast, we talked about personal performance versus organizational excellence. So kind of what it means to do good things for yourself and your own career versus how it feels and how it looks when you're doing everything for everyone else around you. Can I make everyone else around me better? Then we roll right into mental health, his views on mental health and how he was drawn to the Air Force Wingman Outreach page, and kind of how social media and putting positivity out there kind of started to shape his aspirations for his own professional development page. He has a weekly professional development page on Facebook where he does a tremendous amount of research week to week, creating topics that are sometimes hard to discuss. He's actually also an amazing photographer, so I want to give him a shout out for that. He has some tremendously creative and inspiring photos. He won an Air Force photo contest. Chief Bass has showed his photos around. Here lately, his heritage flight for Black History Month is really circulating, getting a tremendous amount of positivity. Either way, I promise you, you're going to leave this podcast super fired up the way I am right now after just talking with this incredible Air Force leader. So without further ado, this is the legendary Master Sergeant Bryan Boomsauce Holm. Let's get after it.
Hey, now you're pitted against each other for promotion, and people started taking that to heart. And I would love to see the Air Force move back. And I think we're going to finally see it. The airman leadership qualities that Chief Bass just released like 2 weeks ago. I think we're going to start seeing a push towards this stuff again, and I'm super excited for it.
Definitely. I noticed there has been a slight shift in the coming years anyways. I've noticed people are starting to value teamwork, at least from what I'm seeing. I've noticed a big value from our leadership on teamwork and what you've done for others. So it's definitely on the up and up, which is fantastic because you don't want to be the crabs in a bucket, everyone trying to pull each other down to get out and then no one gets out kind of situation.
Yeah.
Was there ever a moment where that clicked for you?
Yeah. So kind of what I talked about earlier, when I went back to the 97th and they put me in charge of a flight of 70 people, and I had no flight commander and I had never led anyone. Literally, I think I had wrote like 2 EPRs that weren't my own. And so I was thrown into this pool of people and they're like, hey, lead. And I was like, oh God, I'm drowning over here. But real quick, I was like, all we have to do is care about each other and you can't lose. And we started doing things like going to people's off work events. Like I had one of my members, Sergeant Green, who played soccer, and our entire flight went and watched him play soccer at night. And we got hot chocolate and we got the vuvuzelas, the things like they're the big things from the World Cup. And we're just like making obnoxious noise. And it means a lot to people. One of my other airmen, Sergeant Starclough Crane, Cassie, she was in plays and we all bought tickets and we went and saw her in plays. And this is like Saturday nights that an entire flight of people are hanging out and supporting each other. And we started winning everything because people care. Like if you invest in people, they will do so much more and they'll try their best. And we started killing it on the mission. We started taking care of each other. We started doing events at work and winning all the awards. And everyone, at one point, right before I PCS'd, my commander came up to me and he said, hey, do you guys ever get tired of winning everything? And I was like, sir,
Jeez.
that's what we do. That's what we do is we just win stuff. So yeah, it was good. I think that was the defining moment. Like it was sink or swim. And I just sat back and I said, all right, we have to do this and we have to do it the right way. And it worked.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. What would you tell that like new staff sergeant who came in with all these aspirations and they're feeling like they're not getting that mentorship, they're not making those personal connections, and they're feeling really let down. They're debating if they even want to extend or re-enlist. They feel like they have no control over anything. They're just kind of like, just going with the flow every day. They're starting to lose that fire. What would you tell that staff sergeant?
So you have to be very careful when you talk about this, right? I don't ever want to tell someone what they should think. So what I usually do is start getting to know them and find out exactly what their goals are and what their why is, right? What I don't want to do is say, hey, no, 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 stay in the military. I'll show you this can be better because I know that it can be better. I want to find out what they want to do. If their goal was to stay in the military, but now they're burnt out and they don't want to, yeah, easy. Hey, it's there. It might not happen today, but I guarantee you, I know the quality and the caliber of leaders that are coming up right now, and they're hungry and they want to learn better. And there's so much negative energy vampires. That's my new phrase, is energy vampires out there who come into work and they're like, no, this is the way it was when I was in, and it shouldn't be like this. And people get beat down over and over again. But if you just have faith in the system and know that the things that are happening across the Air Force right now are going to make a difference eventually, and it will be there. The why and the pride in what you do and all of that stuff will be there. But if that's not their goal, if they don't want to stay in, don't give up on them, right? You, as a leader, it's our job to find out what it is that they want to do and then push them towards that with all of the enthusiasm that we can. I remember a few years ago, I was doing, did you guys do DDPs when you went to tech school or to NCOA, the deliberate development plans, where you had to identify all of the things like, hey, you would be really good as a PTL, and here's why. I was doing a DDP with an airman who was getting out in a month. And I was like, hey, what are your goals? What are your college classes? What are you going to do in a year? And they turned to me and they were like, hey, why are you doing this? Why do you care? I'm getting out. And I was like, because you're still a person. And I don't care about airmen in 2 years in the Air Force. I care about you as a person in 2 years, regardless of whether you're in the Air Force or not. And I think that was a huge moment in their life. They were like, man, I remember it was like 2 weeks later, they turned to me and they were like, if I had someone that cared about me 2 years ago, I'd probably be re-enlisting. And I think we have a lot of airmen that are like that right now. Even in my current squadron, there's a bunch of people who I've gotten to interact with daily that are getting out. And I know that if they had had engaged leaders who care about them as an individual and finding out what it is that they're passionate about, they wouldn't be getting out now. They'd be re-enlisting and they'd be bought in and they'd be doing amazing Air Force things, and the mission would be better because of it.
Yeah, we have a lot more control